such a smart-ass, mouthy bitch.
Good. Get your employees under control.
Y'all have a wonderful
Thank you.
All right, let's do it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sam, otherwise known as Snerixx from TikTok, and today is a very special day because it is one of the days out of the entire year that I'm actually in a good mood. So I'm interested to see how that's going to change since of course today out of all days I have chosen to record this video. I'm not going to let these people get to me. I'm going to be in a good mood the entire video. Let's jump into it.
Not as stupid as you think I am, lady.
I mean, you have a whole parking lot to park your vehicle, so...
Didn't want to park. I was trying to get out.
Yeah, I know, so you could get out and...
No, nobody needs to run your mouth. Is your car all right or not?
lose the f***ing attitude.
Oh, I didn't even touch that. Is your car all right?
No, it's not.
Oh, where's the damage?
Right here?
Oh, it's a little dirt.
It's not dirt, thank you.
Oh, well, I didn't hit the side.
Do you have insurance? I'll go ahead and call Palm Bay PD.
You go
I'm
ahead.
videoing
You're
everything.
ignorant.
I'm
There's
ignorant.
a little...
You have an entire parking lot. You backed into my vehicle. I asked you to park. And as I'm looking at the damage in my car, you about ran me over.
There's some dirt.
There's cameras everywhere.
Oh,
Sorry.
well, good for you. You're such a smart-ass, mouthy bitch.
As we stand in a church parking lot.
Well, you're the one that's... I just touched it. There is...
I'm walking from here, watching my vehicle move forward as you back into it.
I didn't... Oh, come on, lady.
Do you have insurance? I'm not going to argue with you.
Stop.
He was telling you. As I'm over there.
Such an ass.
I'm an ass because you ran into my vehicle? Do you have car insurance and your driver's license?
No, you're not getting it.
Okay.
If somebody backed into my car and I witnessed it, I wouldn't be very nice either, to be honest. I have nothing to say about the woman who was recording. I love the fact that this was happening in a church parking lot. This video reminds me of the woman that backed into a guy's car and just kept telling him over and over to just fix it with a plunger.
Pull it out with a plunger, asshole.
This is the same energy, I swear. Unfortunately, the woman who's arguing that she didn't back into someone's car has a dent on her car that's pretty evident. I'm not sure, it maybe looks like there could be more than one. Looking at all of our context clues here, having not seen the actual crash on video, it doesn't really look good for someone that already has several instances of damage on their car. This is definitely the type of person that if she had backed into this car and the woman wasn't there, she would have just sped the hell off. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what she was trying to do, even though there was someone there. So I guess really what she's unhappy about here is the fact that she is now having to deal with the consequences of her own actions. It sucks to have to face the fact that you're an asshole sometimes. You backed into their car and you're mad that they saw you.
Sit down, Nike. You disturb other people.
You're one of those guys that want to just stand up.
I got somebody to help you. We're all set.
Right.
Sit down, Nike.
You're one of those guys.
It's all right,
Nike,
it's all right.
Oh, no. Now it's fine. Now it's fine. But you're one of those guys that want to stand up.
Hey, sir, come on, let's go.
Get off the plane. You need to get off the plane.
Sir, let's go. Come on, let's go.
Get off the plane.
Sir, come on.
What? I'm not really sure what he's trying to say here because he's not even finishing the sentence unless his sentence is, you're the kind of guy that stands up. In what context? What does that mean? Stands up like for other people? Because that's nice. I'm gonna put my pettiness aside and I'm gonna pretend to put myself in the shoes of this person, and I'm assuming what they're trying to say is you're the type of guy who's gonna be confrontational, or you're the type of guy who's gonna stand up and say something like and get involved in someone else's business. Again, I just circle back to, well, it sounds like you were originally the problem and this guy is saying like either shut the f up or stop bothering other people, stop bothering me, whatever it is. It sounds like this guy is just mad that somebody is calling him on his bull, which is usually the case in these videos, I swear. I do have to say I'm a bit disappointed this guy is rocking the Patriots gear because we don't claim this guy.
Hey dude, you know you're parked in a handicap thing, right? Like a walkway?
Gosh.
Is that why you're taking the photos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a walkway for handicapped people. There's parking over here.
I own this place right here.
Oh, well,
I load my stuff when I go in there.
that makes it okay? So he's calling the cops now because I'm apparently in front of his car. Nope, I'm to the side. I'm right next to it. Right next to his restaurant that he owns. I'm not even in front of it. Am I in front of it? Am I blocking it? Nope.
Nope, not really.
I'm to the side. You could pull out if you want, dude.
There's also like a whole parking place. You could have parked that right there.
He moved? It says no parking. Faded, but
It's there.
It's right there. He says he's gonna stay. There he is. He's gonna park.
Wow, okay, that was just stupid. Clearly there was open spots. Why'd you park there? You're not special, okay? This guy ended up calling the police for what? On yourself? You're the one doing something wrong. This girl was in a wheelchair, literally cannot get up the ramp. So yeah, of course she's gonna sit in front of the car because you're blocking the only place she can use. I didn't see him unloading anything from his car or reload anything into his car, but obviously the video maybe cut around that because his restaurant was all the way over there. I would think that just backing into a spot right in front of your restaurant, if that's available, or at least closer to it, if you had heavy items that you were worried about, like putting them over the fence, then going around and then picking, like, it seems like that would make more sense and would be way less time like actually carrying something. That is if he was even actually unloading something to begin with. And it specifically says no parking. So there shouldn't be anything that you're confused about here. No parking means no parking, which means don't park there. I'm confused why anybody else would be confused about that. I can't even imagine parking in a handicapped spot, even if it was just temporary, even if I was just sitting in my car and like dropping somebody off and seeing somebody that needed that spot, I would immediately jump in the car and be like, I'm so sorry, I'm an idiot, I'm so sorry, I knew I shouldn't have done this. Evidently he moved, and I'd imagine the police was like, well, if you're parked in a handicapped spot, then move.
Okay.
Facing my car.
Regardless of the fact, you can go, because I don't know who the you think you're talking to.
I'm talking to you.
You know you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Lady, why don't you move out so she can get out of the store?
Okay, get out of the store. Move the car. Move the car, dear.
You're not going to leave until you walk away from the door. Thank you.
The do you think you are? She must well know who I am. You don't need to hold the door for me.
Oh, that's what she's mad about?
I'm in the parking space. So you better watch your mouth.
No, you're not.
You better, hey, you better watch your mouth. Because you don't know who the you're talking to. You don't know who the you're talking to or who you're with. So you better watch your mouth. You understand?
A pig like you with that kind of language?
I don't care. You don't come talk to me like that. You understand?
That kind of language?
I don't care. Who the you think, what kind of language is what? Don't talk to me like that. Do you understand?
You're talking to me like
that. Do you understand?
I'm hearing you.
Okay, thank you.
In case you missed it, the reason that this woman was upset was because the woman was in a parking space and had the wheels turned, even though she was like straight in the space. It's just the front wheels were like turned to the side. I guess the woman felt like it was a personal attack on her or her car. My favorite question to ask during these videos is, do you really have nothing better to do? The only time I ever notice the car that I'm parked next to or that parked next to me is if they're like on the line and makes it inconvenient for me to get into the spot. But from what I'm seeing here, it doesn't look like it is impacting anything. And to be honest, this video is really making me want to get Subway right now. I also appreciate that she tried to turn this into like, oh, you're speaking to me with that kind of language, like you're using that kind of language. Excuse me, you came in hot, you came in aggressive, and then you're shocked that somebody actually met your level and then exceeded that and was shutting it the down. And now you're just trying to flip the argument into something else to then make yourself look like a victim. This is just like petty, unnecessary, like I'm just going out of my way to start kind of
Do you see this? She's calling me a bitch. I'm handling.
You just called me Karen. How dare you?
I'm a minor. You called me a bitch.
How dare you call me that?
You want me to call the police?
Yes, I do. Get me.
Yeah.
Are you the
I don't even know where my managers are.
She started coming at me crazy. She started coming at me crazy.
I'm coming at you crazy?
You called me a Karen, little girl.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you.
How dare you?
I don't get paid enough to deal with shit like this. I don't get paid enough to deal with shit like this.
Nothing is more overwhelming to me than multiple people talking at the same time, let alone screaming at each other at the same time. Forgive me, I may have to watch this video like 8 times before I can actually understand what the is going on. She's screaming at anybody that will listen at this point. She's literally like going around, like looking around for somebody to tell, like as if somebody gives a I can't even imagine that whatever had transpired prior to her calling her a Karen really would warrant you being this upset that she called you a Karen.
Because if you hadn't done anything to warrant being called a Karen, why would you be this upset?
Does that make sense? If I asked somebody for like an extra bag, or if I asked somebody for something and they called me a Karen, I'd probably just be like, okay, that was rude, and I would never go back to that store again. Honestly, I feel like this just struck a nerve with this woman because maybe hit the nail on the head with that one.
Bye.
Oh gosh. Oh no. What?
Can you freaking act like a normal human being for once in your life? I got food delivered to the house. Chill the out. What?
Is that it? Okay. The woman that came outside after this person got food delivered and was just like calling for her cat. It sounded like, I mean, ultimately, like, what's wrong with that? Maybe it's weird. Maybe that she doesn't have a cat. Maybe she's just doing it to annoy you. But by responding at all is just reinforcing the fact that she knows that she's annoyed you. If that was her, you know, purpose for doing this. I don't love that she said something like, can you be a normal person for once? I just feel like the wording in that was just particularly rude. The slamming of the doors over and over again, that's really obnoxious. That's very odd, I must admit. At that point, just ignore them. I've lived in apartment complexes where people just come in and out all day and their door slams every single time, and yeah, it's annoying. It's incredibly annoying, but I'm presuming this has just been an ongoing issue, and at this point, the person that opened the door was fed up. That's fair to be annoyed at that completely. I don't think I would have opened the door and said that. Because then the woman opened the door and then basically did it again. So all that she did was make her retaliate again.
Do you have any other questions or concerns? I just wanted to let you know, your walls are very thin. And I know I was late and I was deeply embarrassed by that. It was not from a place of entitlement. It was a genuine mistake. What I said really had nothing to do with you. It was more about my receptionist doing her job. The people at Broken Arrow told me to go ahead and come over here.
Yeah,
I did
which
call
is
you and say I was
totally
fine. She let me know that I was late, and she told me that it was going to be a little bit longer because I was late.
There's a lot of things that go on here that you don't really have any idea about.
And I'm not saying I do, but I'm saying to do with you. You don't know me, and to be sitting here just wanting my dog checked up, to hear people talking shit about me.
I didn't talk any crap about you. All I said was that...
Taking a quick break. Hey, still me. I just am editing instead of reacting. I found this part 2 video after I did the reactions because, as you know, I'm just pulling random videos. I don't know how they end. I don't always know that there's a second part. So luckily, I was able to find the second part to throw in here, but I didn't have the reaction to it.
Really crap about you. All I said was that it's unfortunate that she was at the Broken Arrow Clinic, but it's okay for my staff to let people know that they might have to wait. My staff doesn't always like to let people know things because they are nervous that people are going to get confrontational. It had nothing to do with you whatsoever.
Well, you did say that I felt like I could show up whenever I wanted, and that wasn't the case.
No, I said some people do. But you don't know what's gone on here all the millions of days before you were here. I'm sorry you felt like that had to do with you, but it really had nothing to do with you.
Okay, well, it did sound very directed, and it was just really unprofessional and made me really uncomfortable. And I wanted you to know that because I'm a lot more calm than a lot of other people would have been.
Sounds awesome. Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it.
So I just wanted to add a few things here that I didn't have from the original video. That was the most unprofessional interaction I have ever heard. I would never ever go back to that vet again. I would probably like actually complain to somebody about how she responded to that, because although she tried to redirect it and make it seem like it wasn't about her, she was still kind of putting down her own employees, which really wasn't resolving the issue at all. It just kind of made her seem like she was just deflecting any sort of blame, and gave this fake ass apology that was like, oh, I'm sorry that you felt that way, or I'm sorry you misinterpreted, or whatever the fuck she said. Obviously, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. The vet made sure to repeat that several times, and that's very true. That may be fair. Who knows what's going on in these people's personal lives, and not everyone can be on and friendly and at their very best every single day. But this was just beyond accidentally being rude. This was just like someone who seems incredibly burnt out or just doesn't actually give a if I was already at a point where I was confronting somebody like, you've already lost my ability to keep my mouth shut, so now I'm really gonna say how I feel, and I would have been way ruder. And that girl was right. A lot more people would have had a bigger problem, especially when it comes to their pets. Don't f around. Okay, we're gonna go back to the normal video. Would you say something if you heard a receptionist talking about you outside the door because you were running late? Sometimes people are late. It sucks, it's unfortunate, but if I was in a doctor's office and I heard a nurse, receptionist, or whoever talking about another patient, I would immediately be like, okay, well now I don't trust you guys because I know you talk shit about your clients.
And then as I'm sitting there waiting, I can hear the vet talking about how I need to wait and how she was sick of 20-something-year-old entitled people and how she doesn't understand why all all these clients think that they can show up whenever they want. She also made a comment about the fact that my dog has pink ears. She was like, I mean, look at that. Her dog, she dyed it pink. It was very clearly about me, and she flat out lied about it.
I feel like if somebody was late all the time, obviously that would be annoying. It didn't sound like this was the case. It sounded like she said she was apologizing over and over again, which is exactly how I am whenever I'm running late for somewhere.
Here's this, sir. Sorry we didn't meet the standard of quality that you were hoping for today. That's the business card or store manager, and we'll have your other drink out here shortly.
Thank you. It's a free drink.
Sorry about the wait.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a wonderful evening.
What is there even to say about this besides, like, I feel like we've all been there. If you've worked in food especially, it looks like this could even be like a Starbucks. I've never worked at a Starbucks. I have worked at a cafe type place, and I know people are very particular about their coffee, so I can only imagine. But even having worked in any sort of customer service job, there's been plenty of times where you have to put on the customer service face, the customer service voice. You have to go through the procedures, and if you don't, you're gonna get in trouble in an already escalated situation where somebody's potentially even asking for a manager, which it sounded like that's what they were doing. What the f happened that you needed to talk to a manager at Starbucks? Like, come on. There's a Taco Bell that we've been to several times, and every single time they have messed up our order, there's been a problem. They are very rude. It's just not well maintained. You know what our solution was? We just stopped going to that location. We never even bothered speaking to the manager because that's just like how that place is. And if you go somewhere that's typically fine and their service is fine, and this is the one time that there has been a problem, do you really need to talk to the manager because this is the first time there was a problem? Like, so I feel like that last window slam was just satisfying, to be honest. I feel like that person was just like, I can't say anything, I can't do anything, but I can slam this window. And they sure did. It's like a human moment.
Voice message received yesterday at 5:14 p.m.
Oh gosh.
Hi, this is a message for the manager of the valets that work outside of your building. If it is your habit to drive into traffic without even checking to see if there's someone in the oncoming lane, you will cause someone to die. I know for a fact people have died in front of your restaurant. You better get your employees under control. Stop it! Stop what you are doing! You are assholes! Absolute assholes!
To repeat, press 4.
What the f? What is this? The fact that these people probably gathered an audience to listen to this, they were probably just like, dude, you've got to hear what this voicemail says, because like, how would you even take this seriously? How would you expect to call somebody and act like this, say this sort of literally sound like a demonic being and expect people to be like, yeah, we'll take this seriously. I don't know what restaurant this is, so I can't vouch for whether or not people have actually died in front of it. I'd imagine that there would be way more protocol in place if somebody actually died. I feel like they'd be shut down. I don't know. Driving out into traffic is dangerous. That's fair. That's a fair thing to be upset about. And people get so personally offended by car things. Obviously, we saw the woman with the turned tires, like, was personally offended. I know that with valet, sometimes people are trying to get places quickly. Sometimes it's busy. I almost don't even doubt that this whole thing did go down. I do believe that someone possibly cut this woman off. I'm not really sure what she's thinking is gonna happen here, because now her voicemail has just become a break room comedy session. I remember when I was working for the crisis hotlines, I worked in a center that had other types of services that were related to mental health, like psychiatric hold services and things like that, like transportation. I remember a call came in and a woman was basically just calling to complain about one of the transportation units and said that they ran a red light or something. Felt like it was so important to tell me, and I'm like, I just got off the phone with somebody that was trying to escape a domestic situation. I don't give a f. Like, obviously was professional, and I was like, yeah, thanks for letting us know, sorry about that. I wrote it down, and then I hung up and literally never spoke to anyone about it. And it's not like we were getting like continuous complaints about these people. They're basically an ambulance service, so just imagine an ambulance. Let it go. Let it go. And that's all I have to say. I was able to get through the entirety of this video without losing my shit. I think that's a win. I'm gonna go have a lot of cake or something. No, I'm gonna have Subway. Y'all, those Subway cookies, okay. On like the DoorDash app, they have an option to buy like a 6-pack, so I always buy the 6-pack of chocolate chip cookies, and I never regret it, and now that's all I want. Thank you guys for being with me today. I hope you guys are in a good mood too. I know that we watch a lot of negative things on this channel, and we talk about a lot of sometimes dark, but also difficult or annoying situations, so I just appreciate you guys for keeping the conversation going in the comments and sharing your opinions and just being here and getting as much a kick out of these videos as I do. I also wanted to make an announcement that I do have a new project coming up that I am going to be giving more details about over the next few weeks once things just become more and more developed as we get closer to the launch date. Keep an eye out for that. If you have any guesses as to what you think I'm going to be doing next, I'd be interested to see if you guys can guess what's happening. Stay out of handicapped parking spaces and just let it go. That's gonna be our mantra today. Just let it go. All right, I'm gonna go now. Bye.